Everyone tells you to want more, but I realized wanting less is making my life better. When people say they want more, they usually mean the same few things. More money, more stuff, more status, more success, and more noise in their lives. And a lot of that isn't even coming from inside us. It's coming from social media, where everyone is always ahead, always upgrading, always doing something bigger, faster, etc. It creates this sense of constant urgency, like if you slow down for a second, you are already falling behind. And that's actually partially true. So life quietly turns into an optimization game. How to earn more, do more, stack more, improve more, without ever stopping to ask why you are supposed to do all of that. And that's the question I started asking myself. Does having more actually make my day-to-day life better? Or just more complicated? I am by no means a minimalist. I love buying expensive and quality things. I enjoy having lots of cozy clothes, nice tech equipment, lots of video games and other life joys. In this regard, I am definitely consumer, like everyone else. Yet at the same time, I believe that living a simpler life in terms of expectations and standards is a much better idea. But let's start at the beginning to understand how I got to this idea. My story with money is very similar to lots of other people. When I was studying in high school, I, like many others, became interested in fashion and brand items, such as brand new shoes, jackets, glasses, etc. I, of course, wasn't able to afford all of the things I saw, but still very much wanted to do so. So after getting my first summer job and working for a month selling coffee, where I was earning a little bit over $1 per hour, I bought these shoes. Those were very expensive for me back then, and looking back at it right now, I would have never bought something like that. However, on another note, this is a very nice pair which still is in a pretty good shape and at the same time is a reminder for myself not to make such unnecessary purchases as of now. At that time, I was also watching all the popular influencers and YouTube gurus saying the same things over and over again. You have to chase success, you have to become rich fast, you have to be ahead of everyone else. And for a while, as a young person, I bought into it. Then time passed, I entered university, and honestly, it started to feel cringe. Not because success is bad, but because the way it was sold is actually fake. You are being told not to live your life, but always leave behind a shadow, chasing things you do not even fully understand, like extremely rich lifestyle. Then I entered another social layer, different people, different circles, but the same patterns, different symbols of success, but people are still playing the same game. For me it was watches. I started getting interested, looking at prices, watching reviews, thinking, yeah, this is what success looks like. And thankfully I bought only one, because by that time I was already becoming a bit more reasonable. I had started learning about investing, and suddenly it made zero sense to spend hundreds on watches when that money could actually work for me instead of just sitting on my wrist. Then I started my first job, then my second one, and that's when reality really hit. Life wasn't about any of the things the media kept telling me to chase. It's not about obtaining more and more things and making it ideal. If you do fall into the trap, you can spend years mentally running towards some insane goal dictated by the mega goals that keep moving further away. And that's when I noticed something important. Chasing more actually drains you quietly. So what we all end up doing is living in a constant comparison loop, right? So you compare yourself to everyone else. And if, let's say, 100 years ago you could have compared yourself only to a few persons who you knew personally, right? Nowadays you can compare yourself to the whole internet. You open Instagram and you see endless amount of people who are way more successful than you, right? And so this loop is endless. Even if you climb further and you get kind of more success in your life, right? You still will be comparing yourself to the people who are even more successful. You cannot reach the top because there will be always somebody higher than you are right now, right? That's why it's actually meaningless, because it creates lots and lots of stress for you, and there is no end in it. And you can end it only by actually understanding it yourself and ending it in a way that you just stop paying attention to all of that, right? You just stop thinking about that, and that's actually the only way you can stop this endless cycle of comparison. When I say a simple life, I want to be very clear about what I mean and what I don't mean. I don't mean poverty or laziness, and I definitely do not mean dropping out of life. What I am talking about is reducing the overload, since too many goals, notifications, expectations are pulling you in different directions. And simplicity doesn't mean easy. In many ways it's harder, because it requires intentional choices and self-control. For me, a simple life means living below my means, not just as a financial strategy, but as a lifestyle choice. Yes, it helps you save money, but more importantly it makes life calmer, since you are not constantly worried about maintaining a certain standard, image or pace of living, because the more things you own, the more things you have to worry about. Take something as basic as a phone. The more expensive it is, the more careful you are with it. You stress about drops, scratches, battery health, it starts owning a part of your attention. Or the same goes with a car. A more expensive car doesn't just cost more to buy, it costs more to insure, repair and worry about. You think about where to park it, who might scratch it, and whether it will lose value. Simplicity for me is about minimizing those invisible costs, because the more things you have, the more you worry.
There are many fields in which living a simpler life has helped me a lot. And the first and most important one, by all means, is money. Is money, because money is an endless game of getting more and more money, right? And the problem is not with getting more money. It's not the problem, it's great. I think we all should get as much money as we can. The problem is spending. Because if you stop spending your money on things that you believe you want and need, such as upgrading your car, taking a bigger house by signing up a bigger mortgage, etc., you are just creating more pressure for yourself. But if you agree to live a more simple life, if you agree that having this 10 or 15-year-old car is all fine, then it's actually great for you. It's great for your mind, because then this money that you are making, the more money you are making, the more you can save actually, right? Without updating your lifestyle and without spending more money. So by making more money, you just create more space for yourself, for being calm. You just create a bigger financial cushion for yourself, right? So you can live a better life. And in this way, you're just making it simpler for yourself. By that, you also create more freedom for yourself, which means more flexibility. You can do things better. You can just choose to switch jobs. You can live without the worry of being fired, because you have more money saved, right? And why you save more money? Because you chose to live a simpler life. You chose not to buy yourself this upgraded new iPhone, or you chose not to buy this bigger house on a bigger mortgage that you cannot really afford, right? And so by all that, you are just creating yourself more space and more flexibility, which allows you for more freedom of choice. You can choose better things, you can do whatever you really like, at least to some extent, and I believe it's great. Another thing closely related to money is career, right? And especially if you work in office or a corporate job, there are lots of things that you want to achieve in your office job, right? You want a better title, you want a bigger salary, you want more responsibilities, especially if you are like overachiever or something. And I myself am like that. I always wanted like a bigger title and stuff like that. And I do believe that by actually getting rid of this, by stopping to chase titles and starting to chase real knowledge and things that actually interest you, I think you can also live a calmer life, right? You should stop worrying about not receiving this promotion or something like that, which is not in your power, but just focusing on work, just executing the work in the best way you can. And if another opportunity comes up, if an opportunity for a promotion comes up, you just either job hop or you receive a promotion at your own place, but you do not worry about it. You do not make all of your life about your career or a better title, and that will also make your life easier, right? It will allow you to be calmer, it will allow you not to worry about things like that, it will allow you to spend more time with your family and friends, not to overwork, not to stay more at your workplace when you don't actually have to, and that's great, that makes you happier. And I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy by any means. It's actually very hard, especially if you are built this way, to overachieve stuff, to be competitive and things like that. But I think it's actually very healthy for you to switch a bit and become more focused on your kind of on yourself, not on your career, but at the same time working good and hard, etc., but just to divide your career and life for the sake of simplicity. Another thing which actually helps a lot is living a simpler day-to-day life in terms of decisions, right? If you want to achieve everything at once, if you have too many goals, you have to actually spend your time on too many things, right? You have to think about all of your goals, you have to kind of worry about them, you have to take more decisions, etc. But if you choose to live a simpler life in terms of decisions, right, you realize that I will be achieving my goals one at a time, right? Then you can just focus all of your energy, all of your time, all of your thoughts on one particular thing, right? You can just focus on one thing and try to get it done without dispersing your attention between lots and lots and lots of different things. And I believe it's absolutely great. It helps a lot because then you worry less. And you can actually maybe even achieve less stuff because of that, because by focusing on just only one goal, it makes things a little bit more slow. But at the same time, I do believe that it's great for you. It's great for your mind, and at the end of the day, you will be able to go longer, right? You will be able to go for a longer period of time because you will have more energy, more mental energy saved up, and that's absolutely great for you. That's absolutely great for your mind. Because you will be calmer, you will have less stress, and less stress also means a longer life, right? And I also believe that it's great for you.
Simple systems always win in the long run. That's what I saw while working in finance during my career. The people and systems that performed best weren't the most complex or aggressive ones. They were clear, repeatable, boring, and sometimes even enjoyable, which made them possible and comfortable to stick to. At the same time, when there is a constant urgency and pressure in your life, it overstimulates you and keeps you in a state of stress. And when you live like that for a long period of time, you do not make better decisions. You just make faster ones. After some time, you burn out and literally stop functioning properly. But if you're calm, not chasing too much, and sometimes even enjoying the process, things become much easier. Not because you work less, but because nothing feels overwhelming. That is how you reach big goals slowly, step by step. You don't have to do the impossible or juggle 10 priorities at once, and that's what I call simplicity. And I believe that with it, it's possible to achieve much more than with the rush to great success. You remove the noise, focus on a few tasks, and do what actually compounds, because in the long run, consistency beats intensity every time. Simple life isn't small. It's focused. I believe that you need fewer things competing for your attention to live well. And that is why a calm life is a real unfair advantage nowadays.